Shalom, Yasha Allah. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash, the bonus our apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well. And peace and blessings to the hopeful elect that pushes great gospel and sincerity and truth. This your brother Tazakai Yahweh from the great millstone, Indianapolis camp. Coming at you another lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And Lord willing to be edifying. Got an article here from the gatewaypundit.com, and it reads, the World Economic Forum recommends humans become cyborgs, implant brain charagmas. There are solid, rational reasons for children to be charagmad. And this article came out August 22nd, the year 2022, the year Yahweh Bashim Mashai turned it up. And here's a little image right here of what they're going to institute in the near future. Rather be there in your right or your left hand or wherever you may get it at. So it reads, the World Economic Forum is promoting augmentation technology to morph humans into cyborgs and recommends children be, implanted with brain charagmas. It says the brain charagma will not only improve health by eradicating impairments like learning disabilities and depression, but pave the way for humans to attain superhuman capacities. Contains an August 16th article published on the WEF website. So now imagine, people caught wind of this or heard that. Imagine, because I got a lot of people that'll be like, oh, that's not right. I don't think I'll do something like that. Oh, I would never do that. But then when you hear that part of having superhuman capacities, trust and believe people, people gonna be all on board, do that, right? It's superheroes have been dominating big and small screens for a while, but there is a subtle change happening, right? And this is a part of that conditioning. Well, you'll be able to do this and you'll be able to do that if you take this, right? It's many children expect to develop superpowers themselves, right? And ultimately, the only ones that's going to have superpowers, what we're going to see in this day and age too, with those of the elect who who the Lord through the Spirit give them spiritual powers, but then as a whole, as a nation, when the kingdom comes, we gonna all, say all of the nation of Israel, not everybody else will have those superpowers, superhuman, spiritual powers, those abilities. So those are the only people that's going to receive things like that. That's why these people trying to do it artificially on the left-hand side. It's not going to be through the Spirit, through Yahweh Bashim Shai. No other nation is, promised with those covenants and those gifts to be like that. It's like Scripture say, we don't know how we shall be, but we shall be like him. Meaning who? Yahweh Shai, right? And we understand that we've seen some of the miracles and we can read what he did, but best believe he can definitely do much more, and that's what the elect and the whole nation as a whole and the end all be all will be able to do. So select from rambling. It says many children expect to develop superpowers themselves. These expectations may sound unattainable, but we're already making the first strides towards an augmented society, writes WEF agenda contributor Kathleen Phillips in the blog post that augmented tech can change the way we live, but only with the right support and vision. Right? Got this little post to say, the cyborg age is already here. It's just not evenly distributed. So they want to make it evenly distributed and put it in you. So it says, while brain charagmas or augmentation like cochlear implants or prosthetics are used to remedy cognitive impairments, the technology will be used to enhance everyday life, particularly for children who will benefit from developing ultrasensory perception. The article argues the augmenting technology will help all stages of life. Children in the learning environment, professionals at work, and ambitious senior citizens, there are many possibilities. Right? So it says, should you implant a tracking charagma in your child? There are solid, rational reasons for it, like safety, of course, peace and safety. And then what happens? Sudden destruction, because if you receive that, well, we're going to get in the scriptures, but you will be put to death. It say, the scientist writes, many children with attention deficit struggle in school. In the best case, they get special education services or classroom accommodations. However, with extra visual and audio guidance that blocks off excess stimuli, an otherwise enabled child can cope with a standard school environment, and when class is over and playtime begins, they could just take the aids off. It says brain implants will provide health benefits equivalent of a dog's nose, and a gadget that can be be handy to sniff out crown. The WEF agenda contributor assures, but unlike phones that might feel like part of your body, the augmentation technology will become more intertwined with the body in the forms of implants. See, going to what, that transhumanism, that's a part of what, that fourth industrial revolution, right? Merging man with machine, right? See, look, they pushing for it. So it's not no, it's not make believe, not sci-fi. It's actual, it's real time going on. Right, it says Phillips surmises an augmented society is inevitable. Right, it's inevitable. Right, and points to global elites who are establishing a monopoly over a brain implant to ethically regulate the technology that soon be pervasive across the globe. The Council of Europe recently launched a strategic action plan tackling issues raised by the application of neurotechnologies. Another example, Retina Institute, founded by the Dutch government, operate as an independent institution to reflect on questions related to the impact of technology on our lives. Phillips writes, Chile is already a step ahead. Last year, the country pioneered a bill to amend its constitution to protect personal brain data. Several countries are now exploring how to address these issues surrounding brain implants. The task is daunting as ethicists will not only need to scrutinize blooming technology, but also potential future applications. Technology has always had the potential to transform society and improve our daily and professional lives. Right? That's why scriptures go into what? And knowledge shall be increased. Right? It says, so does augmentation technology. The WEF article concludes, it goes hand in hand with an evolution from healthcare to well care. where it's not just about solving the impairment anymore. It's about technology that supports you and improves your overall quality of life. It says WF chief Klaus Schwab, that guy, contends what? Transhumanism, or merging man with machines, as I said earlier, is imperative to achieving the Great Reset or Fourth Industrial Revolution, or ultimately striving to their enterprise that they want to achieve with what? Being their NWO. Right? But at the end of the day, we know that they're not going to, once they reach to that point, the Lord's going to disappoint the devices of the crafty, as Job 5:12 speaks of. So where they can't perform their enterprise. It says, what the fourth industrial revolution will lead to is a fusion of our physical, digital, and biological identities, Schwab told the Chicago Council of Global Affairs in 2019. Double right there. It says, as the WEF publishes propaganda to moral support for implantable caragons that can read the recipient's thoughts, the pandemic is providing an opportunity for proponents of the Great Reset to implement the technology. So that's what I expect for more such pandemics to, pop up and go around, and then they can be like, see, look, if we implement this, that'll cease, it'll decrease, and that's what I said. It's gonna be conditioning. That's why I say you're gonna deceive people to receive this technology. During a Davos meeting in May, Pfizer CEO Alberta Burla boasted about developing ingestible pills, which contain a tiny charagma, notify authorities using a wireless signal when the pharmaceutical is digested. That's why you got your 5G, 6, some places got, talking about 6G, but we know that's why they're putting up all those new towers, right? To be able to have that connectivity to track your every movement, your everything that you do. That's why they got coming up with what? They talk about carbon footprints, tracking your carbon footprint. They want to be, big brother, as they already watching mostly over everything, well, pretty much everything, but they want to be able to have it, directly, like they want to control every single thing, see everything that you're doing, right? Going on, it says, it's like I was, yeah. Going on, it says, wait, is that? Who was lucky? What to say? Imagine the compliance, so say what? Ingestible pills, a pill with a tiny caragma that sends a wireless signal to relevant authorities when the pharmaceutical has been digested. Imagine the compliance, right? So, and that's pretty much I don't know what that is. That's pretty much all for the article. I'm going to read the title again. It says, what the World Economic Forum recommends humans become cyborgs, implant brain charagmas. There are solid, rational reasons for children to be charagmad, right? But see, this more so is geared toward what? You jakes who call yourselves teachers, call yourselves prophets, and this and that, men of the Lord. But guess what you're doing? The Lord ultimately has not opened your eyes. So guess what? You're deceiving the people. Because why? It's up to the Lord to open your eyes and wake you up, so that you have the truth, that you have the 100% true doctrine. But you don't, because it's the Lord ultimately working against you and blinding you, as the scripture is going to say, Isaiah chapter 6 verse 8. So like, yep. It says, also I heard the voice of the Lord saying, who shall I send, and who will go for us? Then said I, here am I, send me. Right? Isaiah, which what? Is a prophet, is a man of the Lord, a mouthpiece of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not. See you indeed, but perceive not. So we are telling these people, hey, Revelation 13:16, that's the MOTB, the Karabah, they're going to institute this, implement this in the entire world. And people, they're hearing us, but they perceive it not. And then they say what? It say, and see ye indeed, but perceive not. We show the images, just like I showed earlier, the image of the Karagma in the brain. Like, you showed them that this is what they got. And they can look it up themselves. This is what they got. This is what they have. But it says what? But perceive not. It say, and why? Make the heart or the mind of this people fat, right? Their understanding is clogged. Like the mind is just, they can't get it. They can't receive it, right? Make their ears heavy, right? They ain't listening. They don't want to hear it, ultimately, right? We tell them, do you not understand the words coming out of our mouth? We speak the same language as you, right? But hey, say what? Make their ears heavy and shut their eyes. Meaning what? Blind you. Give you the spirit of blindness so that you can't see what's coming down the pipe. It's presented to you in your face, but you can't see it. Because why? It's because the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is blinding you. That's why. It says, it says, it's a lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their heart and convert and be healed. But the only way that can happen is what? Is the Lord, wakes you up. If he gives you that wisdom, knowledge, understanding, you can't will or run. It's not up to him that wills that runneth, but it's up to the Most High, right? So it's ultimately up to him to wake you up. But ultimately, a lot of people who ain't been waking up because, of course, they, more so predestined to be of the 2/3 to be destroyed. We're not saying that everybody who don't get it right now can't get it. No, we're not saying that. But as far as those who not gonna get it, it's because the Lord has bonded you. Because he ultimately got a bone to pick with you for whatever you have done. And Lord willing, us who's in His truth, who's learning and teaching, and just taking in this wisdom, knowledge, understanding that the Lord has presented to us. Lord willing, we don't be of that number to be destroyed of the 2/3, right? It says. So yeah, say lest their eyes be open. So it's up to the Lord to give them the increase. It says, then said I, Lord, how long? Right? So how long these people not gonna perceive? How long they not gonna understand? How long they gonna see with their own eyes and can't see? How long is they gonna, they gonna hear with their ears and can't comprehend? They can't perceive. How long? And he answered, until the cities be wasted without inhabitant. It say, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate. What is this talking about? This is talking about what? The destruction of Babylon the Great. Because this is the only place, well, of course, I'll say our homeland will be, thoroughly cleansed, completely destroyed, but it's going to be rebuilt back up. The only other place that's been that's prophesied to be utterly desolate without an inhabitant, is going to be a habitation of devils, which is unclean animals, is what? Babylon the Great. So that means what? You're not, the 2/3 not going to get it until they be born through the loins of the elect, and then they get told what happened or what you did. And we don't want to be a part of that. That means what? They never gonna get it. They just sitting here lingering, like Scripture say, linger on waiting for their judgment. Just waiting to be, like Scripture say, let the multitude that be born perish in vain, roughly paraphrasing. Y'all just living to, party and kicking and bullshit just to get put to death. That's a lot of people, like I said, especially over here in Babylon the Great, what? 2/3 shall be cut off. So that means what? At least more, so 66.6 whatever with the line over the top percent of the people. So more Israelites will be put to death versus them that be saved. That's saying, right? And not only are you blinded, he also blinded your teachers. This is Isaiah chapter 29, verse 9. It reads, "Stay yourselves and wonder, cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine." See, they drunk, you drunk, but it's not with wine, actual physical wine. No, it's of the wine of those philosophies, those doctrines, those false ways, ultimately those lies, those deceptions, those delusions, right? They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink. Yeah, you staggering, you drunk. Falling, because why? Your eyes have been opened and you're not being nourished with that which is convenient to thee, which is this true wisdom, knowledge, understanding, this true living waters, this true fountain of life. You're not being nourished you're not drinking of that actual wine, that true doctrine. You're drinking Christianity, Islam, unconsciousness, you drinking all, or just lean onto your own understanding. Like that's the wine and the drunkenness that you receiving, because why? You're not trusting in the Lord, as the scripture say. This is why. Because being blinded, this is what you do. Well, the ones who are not blind, they say what? They trust in the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai with all thine heart, right? And lean not unto thy own understanding. You people are leaning unto your own understanding. That means what? You're not trusting Yahweh Shemel Shai. Therefore, why would he open your eyes if you're not going to trust in him? Why would he help you if you're not going to do that which he commanded you to do? Why would he? It makes no sense. When your child do something, when you tell your child to do something and he don't listen or she don't listen, what happened? You discipline them. You don't give them what they want. That's the same thing gonna happen to the 2/3 and the end all be all. You're going to be destroyed. You're going to be chastised. You're going to be punished, right? Because why? You chose not to take heed to the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Verse 10. For the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai hath poured out upon you the spirit of what? Deep sleep. So again, it's the Lord who puts you to sleep. Put the spirit on you of deep sleep, right? And have closed your eyes. The eyes are closed. You can't open them up. He got them closed. It say the prophets and your rulers, the seers have you covered. That's why they're telling you that. Oh, the MOTB is sleeping with a white woman, or it's a trade embargo, or it's sin, or that's why they're telling you that, because why? Their eyes have been their eyes been covered too. So not only they teach and lead people astray, and they're gonna be destroyed. Also, those who listen to them, they're gonna be destroyed as well. As a matter of fact, get that point. This is Ezekiel chapter 14, start at verse 9. And that the prophet be deceived when he has spoken the thing, right? The MOTB is sleeping with a white woman, it's trade embargo, it's sin. If that prophet be deceived when he has spoken the thing, I, the Lord Yahweh Shemashai, have deceived that prophet. It's the Lord Yahweh Shemashai that deceived them. Sent that lying spirit unto them to lie to you, right? And what? And in doing so, what's going to happen to him? And I will stretch out my hand upon him and will destroy him from the midst of my people Israel, right? Then that Elder Apostle Hard, I always speak about, the comforter, so-called comforter. What happened? He was deceiving the people, and the people was bleeding on him. What happened to him? The Lord did what? He stretched out his hand upon him and did what? Destroyed him. Because they deceiving the people. For deceiving the people. So that's the same thing that's going to happen to these false prophets right now in today's age. You're going to get the same judgment. It say what? And they shall bear the punishment of their iniquity. The punishment of the prophet shall be even as the punishment of him that seeketh unto him. See, so what? So the false prophet going to get judged. The false prophet going to receive punishment. But you listen to him, yeah, come, bring it out. That's right, brother. You blindly follow after them. As the scripture says, if the blind lead the blind, they shall both fall into a ditch. And that ditch is going to be what? Death. That's what's going to happen to you. Because you're blind and walking just carelessly, and guess what? You're going to die. Because you're not being fed and nourished with the truth of Yahweh Shemel Shai. You like the controversy, you like the boisterous, the vanity. They got nice garments. I need to follow them, listen to them. They nice and neat. Them niggas, vanity. They're gonna lead you to your death. Following after them people. Verse 11 to say, so it say what? So, and they shall bear the punishment of their iniquity. The punishment of the prophet shall be even as the punishment of him that seeketh unto him, that the house of Israel may go no more astray from me. Why? That's why they get destroyed. That's why they be punished, right? So that you don't go astray no more, right? Because what we believe through the Spirit, there's elect in all these camps. We know it's through the Spirit. We know the Lord gonna bring them out of that, right? But that's what those people going to receive what they can receive. So what that? So that they'd be led not astray no more by those false prophets, neither be polluted anymore with all their transgressions, but that they may be my people, and I may be their power, say Yahweh Shemashai power. So, yeah, like those who are being deceptive and deceiving you, they gonna receive a judgment, and you keep following that madness, you gonna receive a judgment right with them. Why? Being blinded, right? It says, let me get another one. You know, because at the end of the day, hey, we know through the Spirit it really ain't up to us. You know, that's why we say, hopeful. We are the hopeful elect. We don't know. Lord willing, I'll be able to hopeful elect. Lord willing, those who are tuning in sincerity, you be too, right? But this is one of the main things of why, we have this blindness. We know we have this madness that be spoken of and taught, right? This is Matthew chapter 13, verse 9. Really, all of it's a part of the reason, but here's from our Lord, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Who have ears to hear, let him hear, right? Those whose ears have not been stopped or closed, whose hearts not been made heavy, right? Or made with fatness. Verse 10, and the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? Right? Why speak in the way to that they don't understand, that they don't know, that they can't perceive it, that they can't get it? He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. But to them it is not given. I'm just going to leave it right there, point blank, period. It's not given unto them. That's why they don't get it. That's why they're not taking heed to it. It's not for them at the end of the day. People think, well, we gotta save all of Israel. We gotta wait for everybody together. No, that's not part of scriptures. That's against what Yahweh Shemashai wants. That's not going to happen. Yeah, we'll be all together in the end all be all in the kingdom, but on this side, it's a separation. You got the house of David, Lord will live that. You got the house of Saul. Meaning what? You got the 1/3 and you got the 2/3. That's a separation. And we know more so gonna be destroyed versus of them that be saved, as the scriptures say. Right? And but that's because ultimately, because you people, Salaki, then you people believe all that madness that them people telling you. And again, I just gotta hit it like, man, it's the Lord doing this to you. Isaiah chapter 66 verse 4. I also will choose their delusions and will bring their fears upon them. Because when I called, none did answer. See, the Lord's calling to you. His hand is extended to you through his men, the true prophets, who's going to preach according to his heart. Passes according to his heart, roughly paraphrasing to Jeremiah. It say, chapter 3, verse 15, it say, when I spake, they did not hear, right? They not hearing, they not listening. But they did evil before my eyes and chose that in which I delighted not. They chose evil. No, no, that ain't right. Y'all speaking about this, y'all speaking about that. That ain't my God, that ain't my Jesus. I want to hear that. Guess what? They keep going into, idolatry, serving a false God. They ain't going to help you at all. Or they say, I hear what you're saying, but no, this pork, but I put this Creole on there and that Lowry's and it tastes good still, so I'm going to still eat it. I ain't died yet. Hey, they do the things they say it chose that in which I delighted not. Y'all choose the things to do that delights not Yahweh Shemashai. Therefore, you can receive your reward, which is going to be what? Death. That's what's going to happen to you. Right? And I had that word too, delusion. It says, an idiosyncratic belief or impression that is firmly maintained despite being contradicted by what is generally accepted as reality or rational argument, typically a symptom of mental disorder. Get through. Finish. You have a mental disorder. If you saying that some people say that the MOTB don't exist, you are delusional. You have a mental disorder. You say there's people that say that nukes ain't real, you have a disorder. Even people saying that, even the people say, well, the Israelites ain't, was it so-called dark people? Delusional. We can go on and go on, delusional. And through your delusions, you're going to be destroyed. And while we're on the point of that, let's get this, because this is ultimately what it's leading to, right? Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their forehead. So it's going to come a point in time where you're going to be faced with this ultimatum. Whether you get this to buy or sell, or whether you don't. We know through the Spirit the elect not going to receive it. Because the scriptures say that my servants shall eat. We don't have nothing to worry about that. Lord will be of that number. But even if you of the 2/3 and you don't get it, you still going to be destroyed. So at the end of the day, like I said, it's not up to us. It's up to Yahweh Shemashai for whatever spirit and whoever was predestined to receive salvation. But as for right now, they say what? To give diligence to make that call and election sure. So that's what? You can't give diligence in falsehoods and deceit. You can't. That's going to lead you to being destroyed. So this is a physical thing that will be implanted, whether in your head, this hand, that hand, whatever the case may be. This is a real thing. And that's what, and it's being plastered in your face through this World Economic Forum, through that Klaus Schwab. That's what they want to do. That's the plan of the elites. And also what? It's the plan of Yahweh HaShem Shai. It's his prophecy to come to pass. Right? And it said what? And that no man might buy or sell, right? You're not going to be able to buy or sell, save, or unless he that had the charagma or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So at the end all be all, right, you believe it or not. This is going to be implemented into the whole entire earth. And if you don't have it, you're not going to be able to buy or sell. So again, if you're not the elect, you are through. Finished. You have no chance. Right? And here's a judgment for taking it. Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his charagma in his forehead or in his hand, either or, the same shall drink of the wine and the wrath of Yahweh Shemel Shai, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation and his righteous anger. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone. What? The thermonuclear warheads. What? The concentrated laser beams. Tormented with the fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb. My Jesus will never do that. Well, Jesus don't exist. He ain't gonna be able to help himself. Yahweh shall come up with that fire. He come with that wrath of Yahweh Shemel Shai. And if you take that, you definitely gonna catch it. So at the end of the day, you're 2/3 of your heathen, you're finished, you're done, it's over with. But hey, that's why we out here calling for, bidding to the elect. Again, I gotta keep saying it. What will we be of that number? Right? But, to end it off, as we know, we really can't, you get a little mad or whatever the case may be. Because ultimately you want Jake to get it, but at the end of the day, it's not up to us whether you get it or not. Romans chapter 11, verse 7. What then, right? What then? The conclusion of the whole matter, right? What then? Israel have not attained that which he seeketh for. But the election have attained. See, the elect of Israel, right? The Israel of God, Galatians 6:16. They have obtained the wisdom and knowledge and understanding. They have obtained the blueprint, the game plan from Yahweh Bashim Shai, as far as what's going to happen, what's going to come to pass in this generation. But say what? And the rest were blinded. The 2/3 of the nation of Israel, because that's all it's about, who can receive salvation or not, the nation of Israel. Not the body of believers as vocats talk about these other nations. No, the only nation that can receive salvation is those of the nation of Israel, right? And even in that, like I said, it's a separation of the elect and of the 2/3. So the election have attained it, right? The elect, they obtained it. They see it. They see it come down the pipe. They measured down the times diligently, so forth and so on. They see it. But the rest, the 2/3, were blinded. According as it is written, the Most High have given them the spirit of slumber. Eyes that they should not see, and ears that should not hear unto this day, up to this very day. What is it, August 30th? Up to this very day.